What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Grant Rolling here with the DMG Gaming Podcast, and as always, I'm joined by the man who still rides for Xbox, my boy.
I don't know about that anymore.
My boy.
I ride for the 360. That was a great console. All right.
That was a good console. Would you say that the 360 was the PlayStation 2 of the Xbox series?
Yes.
I agree. The Xbox 360 is actually really good.
PS2 is a better console, but Xbox 360 I'd put up there below it.
I think PlayStation 2 is the greatest console. Everybody's like,
yeah, it is.
No, I think it's the best console.
One. But yeah, Xbox 360 was awesome. A lot of hours put into that.
Yeah, until you got the red light of death.
Barracks when I was a Marine, when I was a single Marine.
Oh, that's all you that's all you had to do. Jerk off and play Xbox.
All right, Grant, let's go through the docket.
Let's do it.
All right, we've kind of changed everything up. We're no longer live on our regular podcast. All right, this will be just video form and audio form. But we will have if you want to join us after, usually around Tuesdays at around, I'd say about 5 p.m., we'll be live after the podcast shows.
Yep.
All right. And the podcast will be available probably around Wednesday and Saturday around 5 p.m.
You know why we're doing this, Ed?
Why is
because
it?
we're giving all substance, no fluff, no holds barred.
Yeah, we're going full. What is it called?
Full cock. Wait, what?
All right, let's go through the docket. We got gaming news as usual. We got a Disgruntled Gamer Rant. And we have the loser of the day, the winner of the day, which is a surprising one.
It's not.
We don't do top 10 lists anymore, but we have to do top 6. We do.
What's it called?
The Pix Top 6.
I feel like you changed it again.
No,
I feel like
it's the Pix Top 6.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And then we have a question corner where we kind of ask our audience to give us questions before the podcast. I got one. I got a couple that I'll answer, and that we will answer. And then Grant will ask some questions.
I will ask some questions.
All right. So, Grant, let's get into gaming news.
Let's do it.
All right. So let me pull up our X real quick and go over our bookmarks and go over the gaming news for everybody. All right. Here we go. All right. Bookmarks. Let's start. Here we go. All right. The first piece of news, IG in Japan gave 𝐬𝐲𝐫𝐿 Expedition 33 a 7 out of 10.
Wow.
What? Japan, they love RPGs, right?
They do.
They finish reading. One of the greatest RPGs of all time a 7. Anyway, let me continue.
Yeah, finish reading.
So they gave it a 7 out of 10. IG in France gave Death Stranding 2, a Japanese game, a 6 out of 10.
I knew you. I put this on here before you even had a chance to read it because I wanted to see your live reaction.
Both of these games, I haven't finished Death Stranding 2, but both of these games are a bare minimum.
So
a bare minimum to anybody that has any gamer at least an 8.
So
at least an 8.
This proves
that is even low bar for 𝐬𝐲𝐫𝐿. An 8 for 𝐬𝐲𝐫𝐿? No.
This proves that when you work for IGN, you're a fucking idiot. I mean, it doesn't matter what country you're in.
They put their personal fucking dumbass opinions in these articles, man. They don't. It's when I look at IGN, I think of just an op-ed, right?
Yeah,
opinionated fucking review. That's what these are now. They're no longer real reviews. They're just opinionated.
Yeah, it just proves that if you work for IGN, that you're dumb. You're stupid as fuck. It doesn't matter what country you're in. I mean, it could be IGN Swahili.
IGN, you have been on our Disgruntled Gamer Rants plenty of times, I think. You've been on a Disgruntled Gamer Rant. IGN is the people that were, back in the day, propped up Assassin's Creed Shadows, the mid-game of the fucking century, with the amount of advertisement that Shadows got, and then Ubisoft gave us yet another mid-game like they did with Star Wars Outlaws and everything like that.
Yeah.
All right.
𝐸𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐿 gave it what? I don't know.
They probably gave it a 10 out of 10.
They probably gave Resident Evil 5 a 10 out of 10.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. All right. Death Stranding 2 from IGN again. Death Stranding 2 on the beach is incredibly exciting and rich. Okay.
So I put. Let me just. You're probably wondering why I did this. I'm trying to give you a tale of two differences. Same company, different people.
So anyway, IGN America, the U.S. said Death Stranding 2 on the beach is incredibly exciting, original, and unapologetically weird. From coffin hoverboards, yes, that's awesome, to homing missile mechanical dogs, yes, that's badass.
Sounds pretty cool.
It's Kojima game, dude.
Yeah.
There really is no shortage of creativity on show. Their review is a 9 out of 10. I can take that.
Yeah.
That's where I'm sitting right now at around a 9, about halfway through. A 9 now.
What do you,
about 9.5.
So here's my question: is why do you think that they gave it a 6? Is it because they just don't understand the game? Like not
I don't know, dude. It's a different type of game. I'm just saying, like Kojima, he's added. I don't think they played a game, or they just aren't gamers, man. Anyway, Kojima has with Death Stranding 2, he has officially combined Metal Gear and Death Stranding together in Death Stranding 2. Like Metal Gear you could see the remnants of it in Death Stranding 1, but is not as focused on combat. This one puts a lot more emphasis on combat compared to the first one. So now you have that true mesh. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got that true mesh together. But this is, I mean, it's a great game. It's a game that's going to be contender for Game of the Year at the end of the day. All right.
I think that's the lowest score I've seen for 𝐿𝐼𝐵𝐼𝑗. I don't think I've seen a 7.
No. Who was it?
Oh yeah.
Someone gave it like a 6 or something.
That's well, we had to go down to say because it didn't have enough gay in it. Basically.
Oh yeah, it didn't have enough gay in it. That's right. All right, let's keep going. All right, That Park Place reports Marvel reportedly told Daredevil Born Again editors to avoid watching original Netflix series. Why?
Yeah, why? I still think they did a really good job. If this is true, who knows if this is true? You know, I mean, because here's the thing: is if you tell me not to watch something, I mean, unless I'm locked in a room, you're not. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna guarantee I'm not gonna watch it. And who's to say they didn't watch it before they even decided they were going to make the new one? You know, they've already seen it, right? I don't know why that matters. I still think they did a good job.
Why avoid it? Because you have to continue some parts of the character development.
Well,
you can't just start completely fresh because you're
somebody
using the same...
watched it.
Yeah,
because what's his name was at the beginning.
From watching the series, they have a lot of throwbacks.
Yeah, well, Bullseye was at the beginning because he just he was out for revenge. You know, obviously that left off from the other one, so they had to have seen that, right? They didn't just make that up out of thin air. Like it didn't just happen to magically coincide with each other.
Dude, no one gives a fuck about Marvel.
First of all, I know I would have told first of all, I'd have been like, Marvel, you made Ironheart. I'm not listening to nothing you say.
The same Ironheart, the same, I would say, comic book character, the same thing they did with that. With no one gives a shit about, but remember the Rotten Tomato scores were abysmal, and the Rotten Tomato changed the damn scores.
Review bomb. You're review bombing
because everyone thinks people that don't like that show is a racist. When it's obviously no one in the fucking world cares about Ironheart. No one. No one.
Do you honestly? I feel like one day they're going to get their wish. Like one day, I'm just going to be honest, they're going to cry racism so much that they're going to be like, yes, we're racist. We're just going to be like, yes, we don't like it because we're racist. That's basically what's going to happen. I mean, I figured like we're eventually getting to that point one day.
From what I heard, the Thunderbolts was good, but no one cared. Like they put out a good movie.
Who were the Thunderbolts?
I don't know, but I heard it was like Marvel, Guardians of the Galaxy X, I would say, but they put out that, which is a good show, but no one went. It didn't sell well because everyone's just no one gives a fuck about Marvel anymore.
Marvel fatigue, and it's not because, and it's like we've said before, man. Like I just said, who are the Thunderbolts? I couldn't name one character from the Thunderbolts. Like I could not tell you.
But see, that's the problem. You have
but
to
that's
watch
the average
some of the
person.
shows and the movies to understand some of the characters.
The average person only knows the top 20 Marvel characters: Wolverine, Storm, Nightcrawler, Spider-Man. That's the average person. To know about the Thunderbolts and Ironheart and all these other characters, you got to be like a die-hard comic book nerd.
So still the best Marvel movie to date that has been recent is Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yes.
That is still the best one so far.
And that was actually making fun of Marvel.
And people, Ryan Reynolds had such a fucking hard time to even put that together.
Yeah.
Getting Disney pushback and everything. But he did it. And he ended up having still the best Marvel movie in the last, I would say, 5 years, right?
I feel like in order to know about Ironheart, you'd have to have somebody go like, "Oh, Ironheart? Well, why don't you go read Iron Man number 376 from 1996?"
Really, that's the best. I would say besides, I would say Guardians of the Galaxy 3 was good, but since Endgame, that is one of the best Marvel movies.
Yeah. Oh, I'll take that. I liked the Spider-Man, the last one.
The one that was that after Endgame?
Yeah, because at the beginning,
No Way Home, was it?
Right? Yeah, because at the beginning they're talking about Tony Stark being dead. Like they're having that thing in the memorial in the school or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, whatever. Okay, let's keep going. Baldur's Gate 3 actor claims diversity-driven storylines are being cut throughout the gaming world.
Oh.
Well, maybe because no one gives a flying fuck about them.
Or they found out that they were abysmal. Maybe they finally found out they were abysmal failures.
Yeah. You know what? When I sit down and play Dungeons and Dragons, or if I play a video game, you know what the first thing that comes to my mind, Grant?
I can't wait to play as a gay orc.
Fucking diversity.
I know. I can't wait to play as a rainbow orc.
Like when people are playing these games, playing Diablo, whatever, Warcraft, they're not thinking about fucking diversity. They're thinking about, hey, this is another player I'm playing a game with. Okay, let's go fucking raid or whatever. They're not thinking of, hey, is this guy black?
I know. Or
is this guy Asian? Am I playing with an Asian? I don't know.
That chick orc does have a cock, right? Like I'm not playing it if she does not.
Oh, and then of course they put what's his name, 𝐃𝐨𝐺 in a wheelchair. World of Warcraft did. Jesus Christ, dude! I don't know what to do.
When did? Here's the thing,
dude. I want everyone to do a favor. Pull up Garage Hellscream from I would say Cataclysm or even something after that, and then pull up a picture of 𝐃𝐨𝐺 in the new expansion. That's a good concept to get on the change of Blizzard from 10 years ago to current day. Like it's a great depiction of how stupid they've gone.
I find it weird, and don't get me wrong. Before people get get all outraged and say, "Oh, you're making fun of handicap," dude. I'm not making fun of handicapped people at all. But my point, what I'm saying is when did we go through a wormhole and being handicapped is now considered diversity? Like, what is that? Like, I did not know.
Well, the thing is, dude, I guarantee you, like, if you're, let's say this, if I'm handicapped and I'm in an imaginary world, I don't want to be fucking handicapped.
Exactly. Like, why would I want to be in a wheelchair?
That's point of imagination.
Exactly.
But they get so literal. They get so ideological driven that they have to add it in the games.
It almost reminds me of that
because of representation.
It reminds me of that scene, and I'm not getting political, but it is funny. Do you remember when everybody wore the dashiki, like Nancy Pelosi and all those? They wore like the African garb, and they're like kneeling, like putting their fist up and shit. Like Chuck Schumer had like the dashiki on. It's like that. But I'm saying, like, I don't, like you said, I don't want to be in a wheelchair and then get into a game and then everybody's in a wheelchair.
There's another thing is like Dungeons and Dragons. They're like, oh yeah, they're having these wheelchair character, that you can play in Dungeons and Dragons. Like, oh really? They're going to have handicap accessible ramps in the dungeons.
What if there's like a cataclysm
and what if they have to like jump across a cliff?
I know.
You know what? Someone's going to, if I'm in a wheelchair, you know what I'm playing as? I'm playing as a mage that healed his fucking legs that can fucking float around.
Exactly.
That's what I'm playing as.
Exactly.
But they do it. They don't do it for the players. They do it for their own personal little fucking boxes they live in.
It reminds
of
me
their
of that.
ideological fucking left wing fucking super woke fucking crazy ass damn minds, and they create this shit.
It reminds me of that scene from Family Guy. Do you remember when they all won like the Willy Wonka thing or whatever?
Yeah.
And Joe won, and Joe's trying to get into the building, but they don't have wheelchair access. And then he says, Mr. Wonka, do you have a ramp for me to go up? And he said, sorry, Joe. And they blew the little whistle, and all the Oompa Loompas came and sung. He didn't even get into the building.
We're not making fun of handicap people.
No.
But we're just saying realistically. I know many people that are handicapped. Yeah. There's a lot of people I follow on YouTube that are handicapped.
Yeah. Some of the coolest people in the world, actually.
Yeah. But, they even calling this shit out. It's stupid. And it's only people that are offended by it are people that are not even handicapped. They live in their little fucking boxes of ideological fucking. Oh God,
do you know that guy? It's like that guy Mantis. Like he makes fun of like he's super handicapped and he makes fun of handicapped people.
What's his name? Ricky Burke or
yeah, that's what on the Mantis or whatever. Yeah, Mantis? Ricky Burke.
Yeah, he's funny. All right,
he's funny.
All right, so Grant, we already called this one next part. This next piece of news. All right, that Park Place again. Harry Potter film actor calls fans racist over Snape casting backlash.
Why is that racist? Why is it considered racist?
We already knew they were going to call it racist, but they don't play into the fact that the books describe Snape a certain way that people have as imagination that have read the books, have watched the old movies. They have a concept, what's in their imagination, and you completely destroy that. It's not because you're racist. No, it's because they destroyed the imagination of what the original author created.
Exactly. I mean, what if like the whole time that, of course, Hermione is a woman, but in the new one, Hermione is now a man.
Well, that's the thing though. I mean, it's just like, it's not the fact. You can throw all that shit out the window. It's not the fact that because, he's black.
No, it's not at all.
No, it's not that. It's the fact that you're doing it out of all the other different actors you could have casted. You're doing it because of check boxes. Who knows? Maybe this guy is like really good. Maybe he's a really good actor. I kind of know him. Like I know who he is. He's not really like a A-list actor right now, but he might blow it out. He might blow it out the park. Who knows?
I feel like that was the wrong place to do some casting changes.
It was wrong
because not just because of, it's just because of who they replaced, the guy that they replaced. You know what I mean? The actor who played that character so well. Yeah. You know what I mean?
So don't go call people racist because they have a different opinion than this. This is a valid opinion. All right? There's a world, you're messing with the world that has been built from ground up via the original books.
Yeah.
All right. That's a rational fucking complaint.
Yep.
And they're not racist because they have it. All right, let's keep going. Oh gosh. All right, that Park Place. Insiders allegedly call Ironheart the worst thing Marvel has ever made, according to Nerdrotic. Well, Nerdrotic is absolutely right. Yeah. I don't even have to go watch this movie. Nope. I already know just by watching the trailers and the concept of it that I just don't give a flying fuck about it.
Yeah.
And guess what? Guess what? About 98% of Marvel fans don't give a flying fuck about it.
I don't think 98% of, like I said, I don't think the 98% of the fans know who Ironheart is. They probably got on here thinking like, oh, no, it's a new Iron Man?
And here's another one. It's not because she's black. It's because it's a character that no one gives a flying fuck about.
Nobody cares about it, man.
And you're trying to replace a goated character, Iron Man, with Ironheart.
Why?
It's stupid.
Why is it that Marvel has all these A-list characters they can make, and yet they choose to go with these characters, the ones that nobody knows about?
All right. Next, Grant. Superman. The new Superman movie debuts with a 91% of Rotten Tomatoes with 55 reviews. Mm-hmm. Listen, I don't know about anything about this movie. I haven't seen it yet, but I cannot trust Rotten Tomatoes. After what they did with Ironheart, removing some of the reviews and stuff like that, changing it around, I just can't trust. I'm just not an early review guy.
No, not anymore.
All right, unless there's a broad spectrum saying
you can't trust early reviews.
A 55? Anymore. No. I don't trust it.
It's probably like Vogue magazine, Rolling Stone,
But I mean, Superman. I love Superman, so I'll probably go see this with my kids.
It's worth watching. Look, this is actually pretty funny.
All right, Bandit. This is from who's this? Red Team Review. They posted on X.
Well, let's just set it up real quick. We don't have to go into it. We don't have to go into all that. We can talk about that later. But people are talking about, the Epstein file list, how she said that it's sitting on my desk. And then then go ahead.
All right. So they posted Pam Bondi confirms the 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞 was also sitting on her desk waiting to be reviewed. Yeah. I mean, pretty funny. That's one thing, dude. We're going to get the Epstein file, the Epstein client list before we get 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞.
We're going to get a lot of things. I think we're going to get time travel before we get the 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐞. And that's just the...
All right, so IGN reports 𝐽𝐮's Superman is a dense and at times overwhelming adventure, but it feels like the right one for the moment. They gave it an 8. All right, then I'll save that for later, and I'll save that for later. All right. Grant, that's the gaming news. Let's wrap that up. All right. Remove that.
Yeah, not too much. I mean,
yeah, it's not bad.
Well, you got to think the holidays.
Yeah, true. All right, Grant. Next segment, Disgruntled Gamer Rant.
All right.
This week's Disgruntled, or this podcast, I would say, Disgruntled Gamer Rant is X, Twitter, in general, Grant.
I agree.
Let me tell you, the amount of people that even like people that have their profile pics, associated with their profile. I'm not talking about your trolls, hiding behind I would say, fake profile or fake name and stuff. I'm talking about actual people. They act like little fucking girls.
Oh, yeah.
They act like little teenagers when they talk about people. Because I'm thinking to myself, like, these prominent people, when they say something or try to, post a funny meme making fun of someone, like another, I'd say, prominent person, famous person, they, trying to go out, especially when it comes to like politics and stuff, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking to myself, if these guys sat next to each other, like in real life, they probably could carry on a normal, regular conversation, and they would not be like doing this like troll stuff, posting like a meme, making fun of them or stuff like that. They wouldn't do that. And it's honestly, some of the people that I have seen this stuff on, like we'll go out to IGN and all that stuff. That's because this is what we do. We're a gaming podcast. But there's certain people that will go after people that I'm thinking in the back of my head that, these guys would just, if they saw each other in real life, they would actually have a normal conversation. They wouldn't get all like up in each other's faces. Like you can see, where people get that little keyboard warrior stuff. And I see this all the time. But then you got like other people that constantly push, I would say, push something that they don't know nothing about. Like I saw this a lot during the 12-day war with Israel and Iran.
Oh, yeah.
That they do not understand the military. They do not understand geopolitics. And this coming from a lot of big time guys. Like fucking a lot of people on the right, especially on the left, but you had a lot of people on the right going after stuff and they don't understand anything.
Yeah.
Like, I can bring up the 12-day war real quick. All right.
Okay.
Dude, you know how long Iran has been a fucking issue?
A long time.
What was the thing about Iran? A future boots on the ground, big war, right? That would be the next big war in the Middle East, right?
Yep.
Well, they got completely decimated. And Trump didn't lose one single serviceman. He just bombed something. He bombed the nuclear reactors and let Israel take care of the rest, which was obviously pre-coordinated because they got rid of a lot of the, I would say, the anti-air craft, like artillery and weapons. They did all that stuff up ahead, so the B-2 stealth bombers could come and just blow up the sites. He did that all stuff. Iran just got knocked. I mean, they got completely annihilated.
They did.
And I just looked back. I was like, you remember people have been writing essays and theory crafting on what a war with Iran could be. And in 12 days, they're done.
Well, that's weird because
they're fucking done. And it was really a Trump and his, I would say, military planning, his cabinet that really came up with a genius way to take care of Iran without having boots on the ground. Mm-hmm. Because you don't need to have boots on the ground. We have the weapons to completely annihilate them without ever having boots on the ground. And he didn't do regime change, which a lot of people said he was going to do. But he did something past presidents have been talking about and past politicians and a lot of people for the last 30 fucking years on Iran. He did that. He acted. He did the job. And I see people like they think it's not a big deal. Like, I don't think people understand the monumentous thing that just happened in this last 12-day war. People just haven't gotten their grasp because it's Trump, right? They don't understand this, like, what happened. And it's kind of like in X, you see all these people, all these other profiles. They're always like doing dumb shit.
Always.
And then you have the other side of X, which is your game journalism, your so-called game journalists like IGN, GameSpot, and then your social media managers for those sites.
Yeah.
Those people they're clueless. And every time they say something, it's always ideological driven.
Always.
Like anytime they say something. And they also all suffer from TDS, let's be real.
Big time.
Especially people at GameSpot. This is what my Disgruntled Gamer rant is. It's just X and the complete bullshit that's loading X. If you're on X, you need to listen, form your own opinions about things. Don't listen. I don't care if you're a big fan of Alex Jones or I don't know, Dave Smith or all these guys. Form your own opinions about things because they don't know what the fuck they're talking about either. All right.
Also,
or just ignore it.
Also, X still has a lot of bots. I did a test a while back. I was like, watch this. I typed in the word. All I did was I said, sluts. That's all I typed in. That's all I tweeted out. And all of a sudden I get like 2 of them says, hey, you looking for some sluts to stroke that dick, big boy? Like, I was just like, what is going on? It's filled with bots, man. So that's why you don't even know who's a real person anymore.
Yep. All right. So that wraps up the Disgruntled Gamer rant. Listen, guys, get off social media. Because
go touch some grass.
99% of people, whatever they say in social media, they do not know what the fuck they're talking about.
And a lot of these people can't fight in real life anyway. So.
And to you guys that post stuff about military or strategic actions and I'd say military operations, and you didn't serve one fucking day in the military, and you don't understand the concept or the logistics it takes for certain operations to happen, shut the fuck up.
Shut the fuck up.
All right. Grant, that was a Disgruntled Gamer rant.
Speaking from somebody with experience, shut up.
Yeah, 20 years of Marine Corps, all right? I'm not saying I know everything, but I know operations, and I know logistics. Okay, Grant.
I know Operation Dumbo Drop. Remember that movie?
I bet you do. Yeah, I know.
That's great.
Let's see. Grant, next segment, loser of the day. Grant, the loser of the day today is, well, I would say they're the loser of the last couple of years.
Dude, I don't know. we might have to put them on a personal retainer.
Yeah, we might have to do a loser of the year, and they'll be it again at the end of the year. All right, so the loser of the day is Xbox.
Hold on, let me ask you a question. Is it Xbox or is it Philip Spencer?
Well, he represents the company, so I'm going to put them to those are, I say, two the same stones, right? Okay. 2 peas in a pod.
That's right. All right.
But I mean, he doesn't help. But there's there's other people that can make decisions and kind of maybe push back on things he might come out with, Yeah. But there's really obviously there's none of that going on. All right, so Xbox continues to lay off a lot of people. All right, massive layoffs, and now it's coming to the point that they started to cancel a lot of prominent games that they were working on. A lot of games. There's some games that are I would say, not completely canceled, but they're suspended right now, and they're not going to finish them. And this all dropped within the last few days. I mean, it was just a complete. I mean, it made me think, like, well, Xbox they're no longer. What do they do? I mean, they're just going to be in cloud gaming now. Is that it?
Waved the white flag whenever Philip Spencer came out, and he said he was talking about how everybody's going to, everybody's going to get the games that Xbox gets. Like, wow, what was the point of buying Blizzard and all these other? Like, what was the point of buying all these if you're not going to have exclusives? Like, that seems like a waste of money.
Yeah, so
because I go ahead and tell you, if PlayStation would have bought Blizzard, they would be locking down Diablo for nobody to get it. But
they made a huge mistake. And also the Game Pass fiasco. They're having issues with companies and Game Pass. But I mean, just the overall arching thing of Xbox is that, to me, they're not serious about gaming with everything that's going on. With the amount of companies they bought recently in the last several years, they have juggernauts of gaming companies, and they can't get releases out. They can't, even if they do get releases out, like Avowed, they're mid.
Yeah.
That's why I'm really concerned about like Elder Scrolls 6 and stuff like that. Like, are they going to keep pushing out mid crap?
You know, and that just goes to show that big companies doesn't equal big results, you know, because they got all the money. They got more money than God.
They got money, and they got the studios, brother. I mean, they got good game studios, and they're pushing out mid stuff.
Like, yeah, I mean, who all do they have? Like, who are the big players? They got Blizzard,
Activision, Blizzard. That's Activision altogether.
Yeah.
And so I think Obsidian, right?
But so you just named 3 of the biggest companies in the world, like overall. I mean, top 5 easily, you know. And they have done nothing with it. Yeah. It would be like me getting the best players in basketball on a team and not winning a championship.
Yeah. And like the downgrade, I mean, just the devolving of Halo through the years.
Yeah.
You know, from Bungie then going into 343. Like Halo, I mean, they got like they're putting all this. Listen, they got all this stupid pride stuff that no one cares about. I mean, you got to understand who plays Halo. Yes, Halo is for everyone. Gaming's for everyone. But they're not marketing to their main audience, dude.
No, not at all.
It's not a good marketing strategy, and they have completely failed at that.
And if you noticed, I think that's starting to become a thing everywhere. Did you notice that Pride Month wasn't really just loud and like I actually forgot all about it. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, you got to look at, especially some companies coming out like Ubisoft.
Yeah,
you know, they've been posting. They even said Happy Independence Day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They were celebrating the 4th of July, which I can't remember the last time they did that.
I can't believe I.
But they put a poster of one of the assassins on with from the Revolutionary period. I mean, they're going pretty hardcore with it, and they recognize Men's Mental Health Day.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty significant, I think, for them on that part. All right, Grant, what are you looking at?
I was saying, I thought somebody was at the door.
All right. So
get that Glock ready.
That was the loser of the day, Xbox. Yeah, you guys are just going downhill and continue to go down. Anyway, the winner of the day. The winner of the day is not Grant Rowland. No, I'm sorry. It's Grant Rowland, my partner in crime there. He recently just had a birthday.
Best friend. Better don't leave that out.
Yeah, best friend. Okay.
Right. All right.
Duh.
Just making sure.
All right.
Yes.
Winner of the day is Grant Rowland. He had recently had a birthday. How was your birthday, Grant?
It was actually pretty good. Dude, it was low key. It's a low key. Now that my life circumstances are the way they are, you know, things have gotten a lot more low key. You know what? I'm just gonna come out and say it, guys. I'm divorced. I don't care. Like I don't really care, because there's no really beating around the bush. So when you're single, you do single things, but also as you're older and single, you kind of just do older single things. So you know what I did? Went to the casino and ate the buffet. That's what I did.
It's not a bad day. What did you get at the buffet?
Oh man.
Get some lobster and shrimp.
No, so
some of that surf and turf.
They do have that. So the buffets here are not like the buffets in Vegas. So in Vegas, they're going to have all the lobsters and all you can eat stuff like that. They only have that at like Saturday nights at like the big boys, like the Beau Rivage, stuff like that. I mean, but also it's like,
you go to.
Hold on,
one down the street.
No, the Palace Casino has the best buffet. They got all you can eat, like steaks and stuff like that. Like brisket, I like stuff like that, Here's the thing is living on the coast, you just get tired of seafood because it's just so accessible. I know people in the Midwest, when they get shrimp, they're like, oh, it's like treasure, but I can literally walk to a boat and have some Cambodian guy, sell it to me for $1.65 a pound or whatever.
I eat seafood all day.
I know. You also eat oysters out the ass.
You
eat like a shit ton of them. I remember that time you had like 14
fried catfish, oysters, crab legs, lobsters, scallops,
shrimp. I remember that time it was like me, you, your mom. I don't know. I can't remember. We were in Florida. This is before you moved there, and you had like 80 oysters. It was like $200. It was like $200 worth of oysters. It was like I was like, this guy, whatever.
Dude, you know how I eat my cocktail sauce, dude?
Your what tail sauce?
Cocktail.
Cocktail?
Cocktail sauce.
I know what you said. I didn't hear the tail.
Anyway, I put so much horseradish, like horseradish and ketchup. I put so much horseradish in it that it makes my nose like clear every time I take a bite.
It's like wasabi.
That's how I eat my oysters and shrimp too.
Dude, I remember the first time I had wasabi when I was working at the veranda. They played a prank on me. They're like, "Hey, try this," and they gave me like this much wasabi.
Yeah, you're only supposed to take little bits.
I know they didn't.
They gave me on there, didn't you?
Yeah, they did. No, they gave it to me. I didn't pick it up. They gave it to me. Hey, try this, and I tried it. And as soon as I dropped to the ground. Dude, they could have killed me.
Yeah, dude, that's a lot. You're supposed to put like a little tiny bit.
I'd never felt that much pain in my life.
You didn't have that good wasabi anyway. Don't worry.
I'm sorry. I wasn't Okinawan wasabi. Sorry.
Oh yeah, but sushi, I kill some sushi too, man.
I got some
good sushi joints
out
here.
We got something better. It's an all-you-can-eat sushi bar.
Yeah, I've been to plenty of those.
But it's all you can eat.
You think that's? He can tell you're from fucking Mississippi.
But it's all you can eat. We got a Ryan Steakhouse.
You can tell you're from Mississippi. You're like, oh, we got all you can eat sushi.
Hold on.
Shut the fuck up.
Hold on. We got an all you can eat place called the Golden Corral.
We got Golden Corrals too.
What?
Yeah, we got Denny's. We got Golden Corral. We got all those other places. But I don't go to those places now. I got a little more upscale.
I know.
A little more upscale.
Because here's the thing is if the people in your neighborhood find out where you ate, if you ate at Golden Corral, they would kick you out of the neighborhood.
I got a Mexican joint restaurant like right around the corner from my house.
Okay.
It is fucking awesome. Like it's really good. Like every time I drive by, they're like always packed. And finally, me and my wife went on a date Saturday to it. Mm-hmm. We usually go to a German restaurant and eat there. But this time we went to the Mexican joint, and man, that's Mexico Plaza.
What do you get at the German restaurant? I've never had German food.
We usually get the pretzel with the honey mustard. Then we get sauerkraut balls, which are like these fried hush puppy looking things, but they have sauerkraut.
Dude, all I've heard out of your mouth so far is cocktail and balls. Like, what do we got? Pride Month is over, buddy. Like, you can
listen to the sauerkraut balls. They're good because they have this thing called a dragon's breath. It's a type of sauce. And it's like really
it doesn't sound very German.
Dragon's breath, yeah, it is. But yeah, it's like a spicy sauce that you put the cocktail balls on.
Wait, did you just say that dragon's breath sounds German? Like, if you told me you were at an Asian restaurant, I'd believe you.
Well, what's on? They have.
It's just a bad name. They could have came up with something else. They could have come up with a better
dragons
name.
Are on a lot of insignias in Germany.
Well, they could have. Well, I don't know. They better watch out for some of those insignias in Germany. Yeah. They might get the wrong idea.
This place is called like the Old German Restaurant.
Oh my god!
Hey, no, but then I usually get the catfish or not the fried fish, and it's basically just fish and chips. But man, it's so good.
Could you imagine?
It's a big old fried catfish fillet.
Could you imagine if that place was like undercover racist? Like you didn't know until you read the menu. Like, yes, can I get that
room?
I mean, what I'm saying, like, what if you're like reading the menu? You're like, what are these Adolf balls? What is going on here?
What are these Führer fries?
Can I get the swastika? Wait, what?
All right, but anyway, yeah. So Grant's winner of the day. All right, Grant, let's go next. We got to keep
the
rolling.
Last time. I won't get it again until next year. So
yeah, that's right. All right, Grant. Next subject is our top six. The Pix Top Six.
The Pix Top Six pixels. We have to like specify that because now we're not live. We have to like so it makes six.
Yeah.
sense.
Well, let's go. Okay, Grant, let's go. What's the subject?
The Pix Top Six is the worst consoles of all time.
Yeah. All right, Grant.
I'll start it off.
Go ahead.
Ed, it's the Atari Jaguar.
It is an Atari Jaguar.
So,
it's definitely the Atari Jaguar.
This came out in 1993 and it claimed to be 64-bit. Well, the first 64-bit machine didn't come out till 96, like 3 years later. This was not 64-bit. This was like 16-bit that was worse than actual 16-bit.
This system had 5 processors?
Oh, yeah. And it was ass.
And it was supposedly having that many it was a nightmare to develop it. having 5 processors in a console at that time.
And the problem with it was they couldn't get official licensings from games. So you weren't playing like Madden. You're playing some like made up fucking generic garbage football game.
And the controller looked like a telephone keypad,
like a scientific calculator. it was like this big, dude.
Yeah. But yeah, Atari Jaguar. That's my number 6 also.
Is that your number 6? All right.
Yeah.
Number 5, Ed. The Nokia N-Gage.
Yep.
So it was a phone. So here's the thing: is this came out in 2003. So it was like a cell phone, huh? Yes.
It looked like a taco.
It's exactly what it looked like, and it was terrible. Like the battery you had to like remove the battery to change the game. So like if let's just say you wanted to save your game, but you wanted to like do something, you had to like take out the battery, so you couldn't save your game.
Well, and then when you use it as a phone, when you had to use it was like you had to lean it sideways or something like that. That's why they call it a taco.
I feel like people got this just to be cool, but they know that it sucked.
Yeah. All right, Grant. That was my number 5 also.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Number 4. It's the 𝐬𝐫𝐽.
Oh, yeah, that was a Kickstarter one.
Kickstarter, right? It was supposed to be this big. This was ass. It was running on Android, right? This didn't even get off the ground. This was garbage. Like they proved that you could not make a console with the Android device. It was terrible.
So they raised what was it, like $8.5 or $9 million?
Yeah,
for the Kickstarter. Well, after they did that, after their little first push, they immediately sold their entire thing to Razer. The entire company sold to Razer.
Well, they probably got some money out of it. And the thing about it is those guys probably made millions for building something shitty. So, hey, I'm not mad at it. You know what I mean? If I can make something shitty and sell it for $20 million, I would call that a success.
That was my number 3. My number 4 is the Virtual Boy.
Okay.
All right. I mean, let's just be honest. It gave headaches. It was just a fucking worthless console. It had Mario Tennis, which was cool for like the first 2 minutes of playing it. Yep. But then you felt like you were about to die from either get a brain tumor or cancer while playing it. Another fun fact of it is it was designed by the Game Boy creator.
Yeah.
What's his name? Gunpei Yokoi. It flopped so hard he actually ended up leaving Nintendo after that.
He should have changed his name on the way out.
All right, Grant, go ahead.
That was my number 3. Was the Virtual Boy.
So my number 3 was 𝐬𝐽. Okay. So go to your number 2.
All right. So I'm gonna switch these around real quick. The number 2 is the Gizmondo.
Yes, it is.
From 2005. And so this system was sold by literal criminals. Like
Stefan Eriksson.
So not only was it criminally bad, they were real criminals. This guy ended up being involved in organized crime with the mafia. That was an insane, and this was in 2005.
Yeah, he got in a big car crash with that Ferrari.
I'm sure. I'm sure he didn't. Here's the thing: is I'm sure he didn't get in a car crash. I'm sure somebody. Yeah, I'm sure somebody was like
mafia ties.
Yeah, I'm sure he's about to sleep with the fishes.
162 miles an hour he was driving.
Oof.
Good Lord. But yeah, that's my number 2 also. Awful battery life, weak library, and of course the criminal past.
All right, we already know what the number 1 is. Ed
Philips CDI.
It's named after you. This is your system. It's the Ed Philips CDI. It is the worst system ever. This thing, I'm just gonna go off cuff here. So everybody remembers this for the Zelda games, the worst Zelda games. Everybody's like, "Oh, what? There's more Zelda games?"
Now,
Why, yes.
Before you continue, now how was it the fact they were able to get Zelda games, Nintendo games, right?
Yeah,
Nintendo licensed games. Well, Nintendo originally partnered with Philips for CD-ROM. add-on for the SNES.
Yes.
That's how it first came about. But this deal gave Philips rights to use Nintendo characters. Horribly. But,
yes.
Go ahead.
So, I feel like if this came out let's just say it happened. Let's just say they did get the right and they made this. This was the Super Nintendo CDI, right?
Yeah.
I think this would have killed Nintendo. Nintendo would not be around today. This was that bad. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the Zelda games, Ed. There was 3 Zelda games. There was the Wand of Gamelon.
Yep.
There was the other one that was shitty. I can't think of it. And then there was Zelda where you actually played as her.
And Hotel Mario, too.
And Hotel Mario, yes. And Hotel Mario had no hotels in it at all. It was a stupid game that you would just climb up trees and you hide behind doors and you step on Goombas and stuff like that. That was terrible. But these Zelda games, boy, we've talked about this. We've actually had a segment. The characters were terrible. The CGI was terrible. The movement was garbage. Now, I will say this. In 1993, you probably thought, oh, man, this is beautiful. And don't get me wrong, for 1993, it was okay. But in 1993, we were all fucking idiots and we didn't know nothing. Like, we didn't know nothing. We thought that it was great.
Yep.
But it ended up being the shittiest thing ever. And sad thing is shitty things like that are actually really expensive now. I'm sure the Philips CDI is probably like over $1,000.
Yeah, dude. Horrible console. Worst console
Terrible.
ever. All right. That was the Pix Top 6.
That was the Pix Top 6.
All right. Last segment of the podcast before we get into our live segments.
All right.
Is questions. It's the question corner. Ed's question corner.
All right.
Or this is the DMG question corner.
Yeah, we're going with a better name. The Ed's question corner sounds like something from like the 70s.
Anyway, one question from one of our listeners is Token Trekker. He said, why do live events struggle with engagement? And that's very prominent because when we go live back in the day, we would be hit or miss. Sometimes we get like 300 live. Sometimes we get like 10.
Yeah.
Then 200. Then 15. It's all about that algorithm that doesn't make sense to anybody. It doesn't matter how many videos you watch on YouTube about algorithm. None of them are fucking right.
Yeah. And that's the answer. The algorithm, it's going to push what it wants to push. I'm not a math guy, so I can't tell you how it works. Listen, man, but I do know that's what it is.
Keyword rankings do matter. I could tell that from some of our videos that have hit like almost 6,000. And I see our keyword ranking is like number 1 in a lot of these categories, but it's all about unique, I would say, niches, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Having a unique niche that people would watch.
Yeah.
Because if you look at gaming podcast, I mean, God, how many people are we competing against? It's hundreds, if not thousands. All right. So that's really live videos. I mean, people are going to watch what they want to watch, unless you have a big following that when you push out something, people are like, oh, he's live. Let's go watch that.
Yeah.
But if don't have a big following, you're really going against a lot of other people's, I would say, attention span, or I'd say, their time. That's the most important thing because you're trying to grab someone's time to watch you.
But I will say this, and I don't know if this question is because you're trying to get into this space, but if you are, keep going, because there's going to be a lot of people who quit, who see this and they're going to be like, we're not getting the engagement. We're going to quit. Like, just keep pushing, keep moving.
Yeah. So only thing I would say is find a good niche and make sure that your subject is unique and can rank well.
And you will get low views at first. That's just going to, that we've got.
You have to build a following, really, is what we're kind of doing right now.
Yeah.
Build a following to people that are like-minded like us, that love gaming, that like comedy mixed in with it. That's kind of what we turn to.
Yep. All
right, Grant, you got any other questions?
I do. I'd have one question. I have one question for you because I know we're running against time, but I do have one question. And I'm going to tell you mine. Have you ever been banned by and this is on X, have you ever been banned by a very famous or prominent person?
Like blocked?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant, blocked. Because I got one that's weird. I know why I got blocked, but it's But I'll tell you. You ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm blocked by Mercedes-Benz.
Why?
Because they made a tweet about it was this fat woman getting out of a Mercedes-Benz, and all I did was make the comment, "Which one is the car?" That's all I said. And they blocked me. I am still blocked to this day from Mercedes-Benz. So guess what? I'm getting a BMW. I'm not getting a Mercedes-Benz. We're not doing that.
All right. Well, Grant, that's the podcast.
All right. All right, guys. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all go check us out. We'll be here every Thursday.
Just look up DMG Gaming Podcast on anything. We're pretty much on just about everything.
We're on all social medias.
Check our live shows around, I'd say, close to around 5 p.m.
4 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
4 p.m. Central.
Or Central, whatever. We'll do a live show after the podcast, but our podcast will post around 5 p.m. on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
That's it. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll holler at y'all next time. Peace.
Peace.